We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Stick around, we're going to get to it. Read.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord.
You listening, bro? Read it back.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord.
For the so-called blacks, I'm reading Hispanics, shall be saved in the Lord. Meaning this must happen. Read.
With an everlasting salvation.
With an everlasting salvation. Because after we save this time, there ain't no more slavery for us.
That's right.
We'll be ruling forever and ever and ever. Read.
Ye shall not be ashamed.
Will not be ashamed to see where God shows the people anymore. Will not be ashamed to wear our garments anymore. Read.
Nor confounded.
I will not be confused in Christianity and Islam and Buddhism, all these garbage religions. Read.
World without end.
And we are what?
World without end.
In John 3:16 we are the one.
World without end.
In John 3:16 we are that world. Give me Deuteronomy 7:6. He said that you can't digest that God's only for the Israelites because of the history you heard about in the Christian church. But let's start with this. Everything in the Christian church is a lie.
That's right.
Deuteronomy 7:6. God did make everybody in the beginning. But let me show you the separation was made. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people.
Who is it thou? The same people in the wilderness with Moses that he's speaking to the Israelites. He says, for thou, for you so-called blacks, I'm reading Hispanics, you are what?
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
You are a holy people unto the Lord your God. Not the Lord everyone's God. The Lord your God. Read.
The Lord hath chosen thee.
The Lord has chosen thee, the nation of Israel, to do what?
To be a special people unto himself.
To be a special people unto himself. So yes, he did create all the nations. But in the abundance of all the nations, he separated one. And he put them above all the rest. Read on.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
And we're created to be above all people. You laugh at that, sis? It's facts. We are created to be above all people that are on the face of the planet. You understand? So God created us to be above all people. Is that enough for you? Is that enough for you? You know what's happening? I'm gonna get that. You know what's happening to you right now? John 3:16 is running across your eyes.
Right.
It's beating you at the back of your head. That's all you can think about. For God so loved the world. What does John 3:14 say? You can't remember, you never knew it.
I can't remember.
What does John 3:15 say? What does John 3:17 say? How can you only remember John 3:16?
Because remember, there's a focus.
You see us in New
Why do
York?
they focus on that?
How long we here?
Why
No,
do
in
they
Guyana.
focus on that?
About
Why
2
is it
years.
always bring them together?
I can do this
Let us be
every
one.
Saturday.
Yeah.
We're
When I hear
all
the
one
teacher
people.
say,
Sounds
Why
familiar.
is the main focus?
let's see the clothes and say, eh?
We're not one people. The reason for that is to keep us in sin. Because we just read that God separated the Israelites and put them above all people. But all people said, nope, we're going to make them one. We're going to be one. Theoretically, not practically. You understand that? So we're going to get you, we're going to help you with John 3:16. Read it.
The book of John, chapter 3 and verse 16. For God so loved the world.
That's in your mind. That's in all your minds. For God so loved the world. For God so loved the world. Read it.
That he gave his only begotten Son. That whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
So from this, the Christians close the book. They don't want to read nothing else. That's why you don't know John 3:14 says. That's why you don't know John 3:15 Because they pick what they want to read and force it on the people. Well, let me show you something. Isaiah 28 and 9, real quick. Isaiah 28 and 9. The Bible is not written plainly. The Bible explains how we must understand it. Read it.
The book of Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge?
That's the question. Who are you going to teach this Bible to? Read.
And whom shall he make to understand doctrine?
Who are you going to help to understand the doctrine of the Bible? That's the question being asked. Read.
Them that are weaned from the milk.
It says them that are weaned from the milk, meaning grown men. Men that can be loyal and diligent and steadfast in teaching and spreading this gospel and spreading this doctrine. That's what you got to teach it to. Not the bums that care nothing about life. God says teach it to diligent men and women. Read.
And drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept.
So you get an understanding. Precept must be upon precept. Scripture must be upon scripture. Read.
Precept upon precept. Line upon line.
A line must go and match the next line. Not chapter by chapter. All that's fine. But to get the true understanding, precept must be upon precept, line must be upon line, and what you must do?
Here a little.
You get some from here,
and there a little.
and you get some from there, and you get the understanding. So let's get the understanding of John 3:16. That's finish, right?
John 3:16. The book of John, chapter 3 and verse 16. For God so loved the world.
It says, for God so loved the world. Who is the world?
Me and you.
Me and you. Be more specific.
Yeah, Joe.
It says, for God so loved the world. Is the world referred to the globe? Because that's understanding Christianity. Is the world referring to the globe?
Go foreign? What the hell are you doing here, man? You should be
It's
in the
now
right
referred
place.
to the globe. Give me your words of words. You may enjoy it. Joel to Isaiah 45:17, sorry.
Again, man. I want to fight.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Stick around, we're going to get to it. Read.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord.
You listening, bro? Read it back.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord.
For the so-called blacks, I'm reading Hispanics, shall be saved in the Lord. Meaning this must happen. Read.
With an everlasting salvation.
With an everlasting salvation. Because after we save this time, there ain't no more slavery for us.
That's right.
We'll be ruling forever and ever and ever. Read.
Ye shall not be ashamed.
We'll not be ashamed to see where God shows the people anymore. We'll not be ashamed to wear our garments anymore. Read.
Nor confounded.
I will not be confused in Christianity and Islam and Buddhism and all these garbage religions. Read.
World without end.
And we are what?
World without end.
In John 3:16 we are the what?
World without end.
In John 3:16 we are that world. Give me John 3:1 real quick. How can I prove that? Further prove it. Read.
The book of John, chapter 3 and verse 1. There was a man of the Pharisees.
The Pharisees were Israelites, were Jews. Read.
Named Nicodemus.
They have Nicodemus, read on.
A ruler of the Jews.
A ruler of the Jews, read.
The same came to Jesus by night.
Jesus is an Israelite, a Jew. So there's two Israelites having a conversation. So he says, and we shall be saved, the we is the Israelites.
So the Israelites with them right now. Them is who?
The so-called blacks are in there. Stick around.
It's no
Stick around. Read back John 3:16 now.
Book of John, chapter 3 and verse 16. For God so loved the world.
For God so loved the world of who? For God so loved the world of the Israelites.
Right.
Because we are the Israelites. Read on.
That he gave his only begotten son.
That he sent Christ. He sent Christ. Give me that in Matthew 24:15. That he sent Christ to do what? You're going to prove it out of the Bible. Something they don't do in Christian. 15:24, sorry. Stick around, man. You got to learn.
But the 12 tribes will race well. They scatter all over.
You're right.
12 tribal.
They are
Nationality.
Let me show you that. That's why God did this.
The book of Matthew chapter 15 and verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent.
This he is Jesus Christ. He answered and said what?
I am not sent.
But he is not sent. God's man. Boom, boom. Stick up. 1 minute. Y'all hear this? Y'all hear this out? Read.
Verse 24. But he answered and said,
But Jesus answered and said,
I am not sent,
I am only sent.
but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
He's only sent for the lost sheep of the house of who?
Or to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Who are the Israelites? Who are the Israelites? The so-called blacks, Americans, and Hispanics. So go back to John 3:16. This is Jesus himself saying he was only sent for the nation of Israel. Read.
Book of John chapter 3 and verse 16. For God so loved the world
God so loved the world of the Israelites, as we just proved,
that he gave his only begotten son.
that he sent his son, who in his own mouth said, I am only sent for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Read on.
That whosoever believeth in him.
But the Christian's going to hear whosoever. Uh-oh. Whosoever could mean everyone, right? Let's see who the whosoever really means. Let's see who the whosoever really means. Acts.
The book of Acts chapter 2 and verse 21. And it shall come to pass.
And it shall come. All of this is future prophecy. All of this is future prophecy. Read on.
That whosoever.
Who is the whosoever? Read.
Shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved.
The Christian's going to close the book right there.
Right.
Whosoever call the name of the Lord, y'all going to be saved. All you got to do is believe. That's all you hear in the church. What about the next verse? Read.
Verse 22. Ye men of Israel.
You what?
Ye men of Israel.
Ye men of Israel, read.
Hear these words. Jesus of Nazareth, a man approved of God among you, by miracles and wonders and signs.
Who is the whosoever? Who is the whosoever?
Hello.
Wait, let me know switch it up again. Who is the whosoever? Bro? Who is the whosoever? Read it back.
Verse 21. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved.
It says, whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. The next verse explains who was the people in the whosoever. Read.
Verse 22. Ye men of Israel.
Ye men of who?
Ye men of Israel.
Ye men of who?
Ye men of Israel.
You men of Israel. That's the subject. That's who the scripture is referring to. You men of Israel. Understand that? Read us.
Hear these words. Jesus of Nazareth, a man approved of God among you, by miracles and wonders and signs.
So go back to John 16. Let's finish off. Read.
The book of John chapter 3 and verse 16. For God so loved the world.
We just proved it's the word of the Israelites. Read.
That he gave his only begotten son.
That he sent his only son, who in his own mouth said his only son for the Israelites. Read.
That whosoever believeth in him.
That whosoever. Who is the whosoever? Ye men of Israel.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.